Alright, I got my music blasting, and this is just to document current state of the game. Just a normal Saturday, first week of Ash and Iron. Just doing some solo ops. I got to platinum now, over 450 light. It's considered platinum. Under 450, it's gold. All that. And you just gotta throw a whole bunch of shit on. But if you can get it up to an A, you'll get A+ and guaranteed tier 5s. If you only get A, it's a tier 4. But I mean, it's really not that bad. I'm only just barely not 20. It sucked the first day, but they buffed the end of the activity multiplier, so now it's a lot easier. You can take 10 light off in difficulty from before. No, I don't have to be minus 30 or 40. I can be minus 20 and be fine. Yeah, I'm probably not going to talk much, but this is just to show how brain dead you can play this activity. So, I mean, if you're playing only D2, you're going to have a bad time. But, I mean, if you have music to listen to or a podcast or something to put on at the same time, then this really isn't too bad. You don't have to think, like, at all. You can just progress to the point where if you can get to 500, then you can get a lower score threshold and still get tier 5s. Like, instead of getting A+, you can just get an A, and you'll get a tier 5. In Crucible, you already can get guaranteed tier 5, I think, at 450. So, I mean, it really only applies for other activities. Those enemies keep getting the kinetic tremor explosion thingy because of my armor set bonus for PvE. I used the tech set, and I have it at 4 pretty much like perk points or whatever. So when I break combatant shields with kinetic damage, or if I kill a yellow bar, it'll make that burst come off of them. Unfortunately, the Baned enemies don't. So knock all these Harpy shields off, makes a burst. When the yellow Minotaurs show up, those do it twice because they have a void shield and their yellow bar. So when I pop their shield, it makes a burst. And when they die, it also makes a burst. It's nice for just a little disruption effect on the enemies here. Because it's a disorienting effect as well as damage, so pretty nice. Especially on these upper echelon tiers of difficulty where you gotta have Brawn on so your health doesn't regen. You gotta do what you can to have the enemies not just be shooting you the whole time. But I mean, I've done this activity. Creation is pretty consistent, like extremely consistent for how long it takes, because it's pretty much just all timed. You stand on the plate until it's done. There's not a lot of variance that can happen. But this part is really what speeds it up. Usually they want you to go down there and fight all the enemies at the same time as killing all these, but you can literally just stand up here with a sniper or a micro-missile grenade launcher and just snipe all of them up here without having to interact with any enemies whatsoever in this middle part, which easily probably could take the longest part of all of it and have the most variance. But instead, we're just going to pop them all and move on. I am going to hit stop every time though. Kill an enemy, get a grapple. Ooh, I love that Spider-Man swing right over to here. Strand is one of the best things that they've done to this game. Oh my god, hold on. There is... There was a Destiny track that came up on my playlist right now that I did not have added to my playlist, but it was good. Because it's a D1 song. Just some ambient orbit music. Gotta love it. listening to Destiny music while playing Destiny instead of listening to the Destiny music in-game. Sometimes you just want to listen to D1 music while you're playing D2. You know? Mix it up. But the fact that those hitboxes are in before they're actually here sucks. This guy now? Oh, you preemptively did that. That's not nice. Go back to our regular scheduled programming. This isn't actually like, this is probably the least interesting one to watch because it's literally the same thing every time, but I mean, I'm not really doing this for anybody but myself at this moment while filming, so it's mostly just to document the rewards. I do have a pinnacle drop coming up, or a prime drop coming up, or I'm due for one any run here, so it'll be interesting to see that.
Out there, Guardian. It's been nice to be in the field again. Sometimes I forget that I'm a hunter.
So that SMG that dropped is the featured, the bonus featured, so it's not a extra drop for like a prime or something. But it is some nice infusion fodder. In case I want to use that, I'll bring it up. Let's see. Oh, I did need those. Oh! 61. Maybe that was a prime drop. Because that was, I think I was only supposed to be getting 60. But hey, there we go. Alright. Okay, I am supposed to be getting 61. See, this is the hardest difficulty, 500. So that'll show you, like, if you get it to A+, you get a guaranteed tier 5. But if you get A+ on this one, it'll also do it. You just gotta make sure that bar is at A, and then the time bonus at the end if you don't dick around. You'll get A+ and get a guaranteed tier 5. You get guaranteed tier 5 at A+ on Platinum. And then, yeah, over 500 is, you only need A. So that's where I'm trying to get. I'm not trying to, like, speed run it, but I don't mind doing this for... When I feel like listening to music for a little bit for the day, I'll do this on the side. Just to get some progress. And hey, I mean, if I pump out a little bit of it now, that just means the rest of the season I can just do what I want to do and get rewarded with higher tiered stuff for it. I'm not in a rush. Next episode, though. Once Renegade comes out, though, it's going to reset the light level. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this grind again. I guess it really depends on, like, what weapons are there, if I really want to know stuff. The only thing that really sucks pretty much about being over 400 power is you lose your radar. Some of these activities, these enemies really like to hide. It's not a very fun game of hide and seek. This is kind of this is kind of working on my battle sense, though, slightly. The fact that I've always got music blasting at the same time means I can't hear the enemies pretty much like at all. I can only hear my gun shooting really, because it's so dang loud. So like I can't hear little ambient noises from enemies that are behind me or whatever, so I have to always be looking and be aware of when to be checking my flank and all that stuff. So I mean, it is kind of helpful in that way. These chill, just grind sessions just keep me active, paying attention. I agree. The nice thing is these crystals spawn in the same spot every time. This Arc Michael missile, by the way, apparently comes from Penicillin activities. It's helpful without having to use a kinetic mountaintop, so I can use my Monte Carlo and get my Halo charges back. For this difficult ignorance build. You can really tell the nerf, though, that they did to it. Anytime people have fun and the game becomes slightly trivial, they have to be like, nah, we need you to be full tryhard mode every time you play this game. Even just basic, simple, seasonal content is going to be the hardest it can be. Annoyingly tedious. But they took 80% of damage off of the top. So then I had to completely farm entirely new armor that focused on the melee stat to kind of make up for it. Which, I mean, it's not terrible. It wasn't that bad. At least Solstice was out then, so I was getting double drops during that time, and the events were easy to do with all the extra modifiers. That can happen. You don't have game audio playing loud enough to hear. And you have no radar. Better than, what is it out there? Than a wyvern teleporting behind me. Damn.
Well, they need her back soon. I know she needs to follow up on this craziness with the 9.
Is one going to be a higher level than the other? Because it was, damn. Huh. I don't know. With all these runs I've done, I don't know if I've ever seen that. 2 of the same item at the same level like that. Checking the stats to see if I needed to replace. It is nice though that I'm getting tier 5s of this tech sec armor set, because now I can eventually upgrade my tier 4s if I can get the right roll. Health melee weapons. I'd still need a replacement even just tier 4 for my boots, because they're class rather than weapons. Because if I can invest it in weapons naturally from the item, then I can take the 10 points and pump it into I don't know, like my grenade or something, so I can have my grapple melee sooner. And that's why we play. The more you play, the more drops you'll get, so you can do the stuff you want to do. And because I played so much during Solstice, it allowed me to do some fun Crucible builds and stuff on the side, so that was good. Oh. Is it gonna let me be able to have a second boon active? I don't really need it though. Really only need full throttle. Don't want to chance it.
You're up, Guardian. Let's clear this sector as quickly as possible.
With any luck, we'll be long gone before major reinforcements arrive.
Still getting used to the recoil. They just changed it with this major update that came out with Ash and Iron. It used to be deterministic recoil. It was pretty consistent. There's an example of that guy blown up twice. It used to be really consistent, but now they took away the deterministic recoil, and now it's just your recoil direction stat, I think. But it's noticeable at long range that this is a lot more difficult to consistently keep on target. And it seems a little bit more random now. Which makes sense because it's 80. I never really noticed the 80 prior with the deterministic. Maybe there's just nothing to practice, since it's truly random now. Just getting used to that fact. The nice thing about creation also is that the bonus objectives are the same every time. Every single time it's always combatants defeated, and it's never a huge ask for how many. Like 45 or 50 is the most they'll ever ask for. It's so easy to do. Guaranteed every time just for standing on the points. Doesn't matter that you don't kill any enemies during this part whatsoever. I do kind of like the more mindless ones, these autopilot ones, because then it does allow people to just listen to music or do whatever on the side and not be asked for my full attention. And then there's other ones where they need you to be paying attention, and then I change the pace. One way to keep the game fresh when it's trying as hard as it can to take the fun away. There's ways you can still keep the spirit alive, I suppose. But it's a shame that I have to provide that myself, because the game is very... See, like, I'm indifferent about it right now, because the portal system is at least new. So it's something to engage with that is new and kind of refreshing. It can get tedious when you spend more time fucking with it than actually playing. And the timers that they impose on some of these things are kind of ridiculous. But as getting to the point for most people, they don't have the time to sit down and do 40-minute seasonal activities all the time, every single week. Not everybody has friends to play with all the time. So sometimes these bite-sized pieces of content that you can consume at your leisure and determine your own difficulty for, it's kind of appealing in that regard. But at the same time, it really does make certain aspects of the game very lifeless. Like, it just doesn't feel like you're actually interacting with the world when all you're doing is dropping down into this activity from a menu board. If anybody's ever played Fortnite, it's kind of like their system, where it's just cluttered with a whole bunch of pictures of things you could be doing, but actually going to the planet and choosing it, that's kind of where the life of the game is. It can be rough. But it is helpful when Destiny is not your main game that you play.
You were right.
Well, I mean,
But
it can
we'll
be
need
your
her
main
back
game,
soon.
but if you have other games on the side that you can do and not just spend all your time playing Destiny and hating it, it makes it a lot more tolerable. But it's always been that way. There's always been dry periods. I want to upgrade my main one, but in 40 minutes it's going to change to a new featured activity in my other solar build. Might be better. I really pretty much only use this build for creation. Otherwise, almost all the other ones I'm just doing solar. I might use this one on Caldera when the Vex are there. One annoying thing is every time you relaunch the activity, if you get above a 50 threshold, so like 350, 450, it keeps trying to jump you up to the upper difficulty instead of just staying with what I had selected. So I gotta go down again. Grandmaster. Oh well.
It's a relatively simple assignment, this. I hope you won't be bored.
Just the opposite, Gabriel. After dealing with the anomaly, time travel, and advanced metaphysics, a straightforward mission sounds...
But he's not aware. I always, instead of just going straight to the point, I always melee kill the first enemy. Just get my banner active so I can just have my constant healing while I'm standing on the point. That's the worst spawn back there. You can't really shoot any of them. It is interesting that there is a particular activity like this creation here that really does just offer practically no variance in time that it takes to complete it. Like, the only place that could offer much variance at all is the final room, if for whatever reason the choice of spawn for the enemies just happens to choose a whole bunch of wyverns. Pieces of food. There's plenty of runs where it doesn't spawn any at all. Sometimes it'll spawn one, but then there's sometimes where it'll spawn like 2 yellows at the same time, and one of them might be promoted or have a bane or something on it. Like, sometimes it can just really choose to be a pain in the butt. That's just part of it. Sometimes I don't know how it determines it. Sometimes the hazards are turned off on some runs, and sometimes they're more beefed up. Like, sometimes when I do this one, it won't have the laser beams on at all. And other times it will. And then sometimes it'll have the laser beams and the little Vex guys that trap you in the sphere on top of those. But that's rare. The odds of that happening are about the same as the lasers not being here at all. That happens on other ones, too. Environmental hazards will sometimes be there and sometimes not. Or sometimes they'll be beefed up. I'm used to needing 3 because I don't trigger the barrier guys. It takes 3 to kill those. Like 3 or 4 seconds faster than me.
That was better than I expected. The Guardian looked comfortable alone out there.
Excuse you? Guardians are never really alone. They've always got the...
Man, my special weapon is the thing that's really holding me back right now.
It's a relatively simple assignment, this. I hope you won't be bored.
Just the opposite, Ezrin. After dealing with the anomaly, time travel, and advanced metaphysics, a straightforward mission sounds...
Usually they're not so aggressive like that. They must have been emboldened by their big boy who died immediately. And then they were committed. Sorry if anybody gets whiplash. I'm always having to check my back and make sure I magically spawn back there. Man, that guy's just really gonna hide the whole time. No. Performers don't like when the crowd jumps on the stage. This ain't that kind of show. And we're just going for the green. That's all we're doing. Just some green. And we're done. A couple seconds. Slower than normal, to be expected. Oops. I almost kind of feel like this transition into the portal system and the way that they decided to do the game now didn't hit me as hard as other people because I was already pretty disillusioned with Destiny and the way that they've been making Destiny 2 further and further away from D1. So maybe it just wasn't that big of a change for me because I already felt like, oh, this isn't Destiny anyways, so doing something else that makes it feel further away doesn't really make much more of a difference. Right now, there's just almost feels like a different game with a Destiny skin on it from how it used to be. But I'm just so invested in the storyline after all these years that I just kind of gotta keep going. To be fair, I'm really not as invested in the story at this point. Now that, like, the witnesses... The Edge of Fate campaign was kind of interesting, figuring out what the 9 is, all that. See what it does. We at least got to make it to Yippee-Ki-Yay Star Wars. See what we do with that. But they still have to make it 3 months until then. They better not kill the game before that comes out. Come over here. Man, this room is so bright. It almost hurts my eyes to look at. Sometimes.
Guardian. It's been nice to be in the field again.
Special weapon, okay. There you
Sometimes
go.
I forget that I'm a hunter, and not just Clovis Bray's granddaughter.
I better level up the solar build. That should have bumped me up now. Oh. Ooh, but not in a good way. I'm gonna have to change this to... Oh. Oh. I see. We hit some sort of level threshold here. That is such a small sliver there. I wonder if that'll be enough to still get A+, without having to add another 10 difficulty.
Plenty of civilian fighters, but
oh, see, those guys are spawned now, but it's
Guardians on their own.
Oh my god, I can still one-shot melee those. There's 2 of them? Yeah. Do it again, I dare you. Shot those guys. Forgetting these guys are a little bit beefier. I keep stopping my shots thinking they're going to be dead before they're dead. Going off of the last runs. More special? No? No? Oh. I have enough for these oracles anyways. That ship, by the way, that was coming out of that hole is physical. It can definitely hit you out of the way. I tested for science. I might need to update my dead zone. I was trying to just micro move the reticle and it wasn't moving. So with the increase in difficulty, we're only down by about 10-15 seconds compared to the average time it's taken before. Kind of annoying with that chill thing going on. Chill touch. But it makes your reload slower too. Holy shit, does. Oh, it's because these guys are so back. This is a little sloppier right now, time-wise. The enemies are a little bit more formidable. I think we should still be okay. We don't have any life. That's the biggest problem. I think that's right. We were testing for science if just finishing on a good time and still net an A+, maybe training a little higher. If it's not a tier 5, then we gotta go even harder, which
I
kind of
was happy
sucks.
to hear a colony ship survived on Kepler.
Looks like a tier 5
It
though.
gives me a hope that we might repopulate sectors like this one day.
Okay, good.
Maybe in 100 years, this is a nice park with big
That just
statue of
means
the
that
Guardian, covered in pigeons.
the only annoying part now, with the recent change that we have to do, is that void damage is really gonna hurt with those wyverns. But it's worth it to keep getting tier 5s every time. I could not go for A+ and just get A's and it would still be the same power bump. They would just be tier 4s, but for now I'm just looking for tier 5s. Once I get good rolls for all this crap, then it doesn't matter so much. Then I can just do A and not have it be as hard. I might keep that there, and then I'll just infuse it into whatever, based on what activity is going to be the bonus featured in a couple minutes. But yeah, that was just to document where we're at, so we're going to go ahead and just call it there. We don't need to do any more, it's all going to be the same. Go to bed.